the way what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stain from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, welcome to this special edition of the Geek Gauntlet podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan. Guys, I am so excited today. So excited. This young man has been on TikTok just going crazy. I'm just now finding him over the last year or so. And he's been doing the Titans, the Justice League, DC versus Marvel. We got to get into all of it. Let me bring my man, Red Fox Player, in. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Glad to be here, man. What's shaking?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just preparing for the Meta Brawl tonight. We're on night 2, and I'm getting ready for that, and I'm super excited, and I'm super excited to be here.
Man, thank you for coming on. Man, I've been an admirer of what you've been doing. Ever since I first saw you on TikTok, your videos are hilarious, man. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it for real.
Those things be having me cracking up, man. The first thing I wanted to ask you, what was your inspiration for creating those? What made you start on those series?
So I had actually started creating the series right after I had left a previous job as a content creator. And, I had been creating content I've been creating content for a long time, but I had only been doing it professionally for about a year before I started doing the Hanging with the Justice League series. And where I left my previous job as a content creator, I wanted to pick back up and get into something. And I really wanted to jump on the AI wave because a lot of people were doing it, and I thought it was really funny. And I definitely thought that I could bring something to the table with it. So the first thing that came to mind to me was doing something with DC, because for my whole life, I've just been a super fan of DC Comics, everything revolving around DC and Marvel, but DC in particular.
Right here with you.
And I honestly, at first, whenever I first started picking up on it, I didn't know whether I wanted to go with Justice League or Teen Titans, because those are my two favorite DC franchises. But I went with Justice League just because I felt like I could get a lot more adult humor out of it, and it's been going well ever since.
Now, and I think it was kind of cool because I know in a comment I asked you to bring in Scarlet Witch. Not only did you bring in Scarlet Witch, you brought in Marvel, and it's like I think that added a little bit of a different dynamic, because now you're crossing certain comic book lines. Some people like DC, as myself. Some people, like another YouTuber, King Lion, we all know King Lion, loves Marvel. So what made you want to sort of kind of tip the scales to go to that direction? Was it more of this being able to not only cross the line, but bring another dynamic into it? Or was it more for the comedic effect?
It's kind of both, honestly. So I definitely wanted to take a step farther in the storyline with Hanging with the Justice League, because it started out with just a fight between friends. They started beefing over just petty stuff.
Yep.
A lot of like hood rat stuff, just for comedic effect. And then after that, they fought Darkseid, and I was like, all right, how can I take it a step farther? And I was like, I'm gonna bring in Marvel, and they're gonna go head to head.
That was amazing. One of the funniest episodes to me was the wedding. I'm like, bruh, it was supposed to be the happiest moment in Batman and Wonder Woman's life, as well as Sharon and John Stewart. And it's like you brought it into like, okay, I'm gonna hit the movie Avengers entrance, and it's like bam, they all just come up and say, oh no, not today. That was just funny as all get out to me. And it's like, the way is it all you who's doing the series, or do you have a team? Do you have people who write it? How do you do that?
It's mostly just me.
Wow.
So The only person that I really have helping me is when I do commentary for Meta Brawl. There's someone else there. It was previously my friend Ben,
Mhm.
but he kind of stepped down from it. He had a lot of issues going on, and he had to step away from it. So recently, I brought in my friend Adam, who is based out of LA, and he's an aspiring actor. And he had messaged me back when I first started doing hanging with the Justice League, because when I first started, uh, a lot of characters I just couldn't do
Right.
because AI couldn't really replicate their accents very well.
Mm.
And where Joker has that very heavy accent, um, I just couldn't do it.
Right.
So he actually likes to dress up and campaign as Joker. And, he does a pretty spot on Mark Hamill Joker voice.
Mm.
So he asked me if he could voice Joker in my videos. So he's been voicing Joker ever since. And when Ben stepped down from doing commentary, I automatically, first thing that came to my mind, I got to get Adam.
Right.
So, he kind of helps me with the videos. But other than that, I really just do it by myself. My creative process with it is really just hopping on 11 Labs, which is the site that I use for the AI voices. And I don't even really write a script. I
Mm.
just kind of have them say stuff, and I just have them say stuff as I go along, because
Right.
I am pretty bad when it comes to dyslexia and ADHD,
I didn't
and
know
I
that.
just yeah. So I find it easier to just kind of make them say stuff as I go along, because when I'm sitting and writing a script, a lot of times I just kind of lose patience with it. I lose focus.
Right.
So whenever I'm seeing it happen in real time, it helps a lot more to just kind of have them say stuff as I'm going along, kind of freestyling it.
The and I think that one of the funniest matchups that I'm looking forward to see. I had to work late last night, so I got to catch night one. But the one matchup I want to see that I think is probably going to be the funniest: Martian Manhunter versus Vision. That
Yeah.
is going to be hilarious. I don't want to be hilarious, man. I just think it's going to be hilariously funny than anything else. Um, Now I want to ask you. I put in a comment about Hawk Girl because I think Hawk Girl sort of kind of gets. How can I say this? When you compare her to like Wonder Woman, when you compare her to like Scarlet Witch, she gets looked maybe as third or fourth, or maybe she gets slept on.
Yeah.
What made you bring Hawk Girl into play?
Well, so really, when I first started doing the whole thing with hanging with the Justice League, I definitely wanted it to be a play off of where it left off in Justice League Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
So if you notice, like all the relationships and stuff, and all the stuff that they're talking about, it applies to things that happen in Justice League and hanging with the Justice League, and where Hot Girl was a founding member
Yes.
of hanging of the Justice League, I definitely wanted to bring her into it. And honestly, as a kid watching those shows, I always noticed that Hawk Girl was just always on like that Black Air Force energy. Like she's always like on edge, ready to say something. There's full on an episode where she is like tied up. I can't remember who's got her tied up, but she's like tied up like this. And
Mhm.
she looks at him, she's like, I have a gesture for you, but my hands are tied up right now. Like saying some stuff like that, it's like she's always been on some Black Air Force energy. And I definitely wanted to bring that into the Hanging with the Justice League series.
She is a badass. She is a badass. Like I said, I think a lot of times she gets slept on that she really shouldn't. Hell of a warrior, in my opinion. Um, Now let me ask you this: what was your reason? And I think it's amazing because I don't think anybody else would have done this. You broke up Superman and Lois and put Superman with Satana.
Yeah.
Why?
All right. So that just kind of started off as like just a meme, because from the very start of Hanging with the Justice League, I thought it'd be a funny joke to add in, because like they're talking about like who would you rather smash in the Justice League, and everyone's like dogging Superman and stuff, saying like
Yeah.
Superman be the type to close the drawer with his hips. and like all this crazy stuff. And Zatanna was the only one that was like, hold up, ain't he vulnerable to magic?
Yep.
And ever since then, I'm kind of just like played off of that. Like, she's a freak for Superman because she wants to see what she can do with that magic. And so many people like that concept that a lot of people was like, Superman and Zatanna, they need to do something. They need to link up. And eventually it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something with this. And I've just kind of been rolling with it ever since.
Yeah, it was hilarious, and I thought it was kind of brave because at first he broke up Superman and Lloyd. Is that might backfire? But nope, it sure didn't. You went on with your instinct, and it definitely succeeded. Definitely succeeded. I also like another aspect that you did. You took that relationship that we saw from Justice League Unlimited between Batman and Wonder Woman, and it almost played out.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, I definitely wanted to uh, do some references, like pick up where they left off in Justice League Unlimited, and put them together. And a lot of people are actually saying that they really like it just because we've not really got to see anything where Batman and Wonder Woman were actually like together.
Yeah.
Like, they've always been kind of like shipped ever since Justice League Unlimited, I think, but they've never really like fully got together. So I wanted to kind of do that, and people really liked it. And especially with like the marriage thing, like they were getting ready to get married and whatnot, up until spoiler alert, Marvel crashed the wedding. But there's still hope for him yet. There's still hope for him yet. They ain't about to let Marvel take him down without a fight.
Now, the success that you're doing with this, could we see other series come from you based off the success of this? Like, for example, I'll just throw two franchises out there. And one I'm a sucker for. Pokemon and Digimon. Could we see maybe something like that down in the future from you, or are you done with this type of content?
Well, I can definitely say that if the Meta Brawl does well, which it did really well last night, and we got one more night
Mhm.
tonight, and if it does really well tonight, just like it did last night, the big things are definitely coming. I'm not gonna say what's coming because I definitely want that to be a surprise for you guys,
Oh
but
yeah.
big things are coming. That's all I can say.
All right. All right. Now, another thing that sort of kind of that got me with this, and I don't know if it's a TikTok thing, but short form content catches catches on quicker than long form. We both know that. But the way you do it, your videos aren't that long, but the way that you have them timed out and spaced out is like perfect. So it's like somebody can come in, watch one real quick, maybe like on a lunch break or something like that, and then if they miss that next one the next day, they can do the same thing. Was that the reason why you chose TikTok as the platform and maybe not like YouTube for YouTube shorts or something similar?
Yeah, because so like I said, I previously worked as a content creator before I started doing this, and that was mainly my field was TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and I kind of learned a lot of tips and tricks on how to gain people's attention through working with that job because they through the experience that I had with them, there was uh, a lot of workarounds that I learned on how to catch people's attention. And that was one thing that I really noticed is that with our generation, I'm talking about Gen Z in particular, um, the attention span usually lasts about 3 to 5 seconds. It's
Yep.
crazy to think, but it's true. So usually, if you can catch people's attention within that 3 to 5 times time frame, then they're going to want to keep watching. And a lot of people like the one off and done type of videos because a lot of people would just rather uh, watch it right then and there. And then, I mean, if they want to keep coming back, then that's up to them. But that's really how I've noticed that people get hooked is the one and done thing because it makes them want more.
Yes. Now, have you heard from anyone from DC or Marvel about these series?
I've heard from a few people. It's not necessarily something I want to speak on, but uh, let's just say they know about me. They know about me, which is crazy because I didn't expect that going into it.
Oh man, oh man. You took one of my favorites, Supergirl. One of my favorites is in this. And I kind of thought it was interesting because you brought Miles in it, you brought Static Shock in it, love Static Shock. Um Now, was Miles somebody who you always planned on bringing in, or maybe or was he like a secondary character you were thinking about?
Okay, so as soon as I decided that I was going to bring Marvel into this whole thing, Miles Morales was definitely one of the number one people that I planned on bringing in. And
Yeah.
the storyline, like the not the love triangle, but like the love square
Hmm.
between him, Static Shock, Supergirl, and Spider Gwen.
Hmm.
So I knew that I wanted to do that storyline because Static is actually one of my favorite characters in DC. Miles is my favorite character in Marvel.
Okay.
And Supergirl is definitely another one of my favorite characters in DC. And, it only made sense to bring Spider Gwen into it. So, with them being, four of my favorite characters, I definitely had to do something with that.
Man, I was just like, and I first saw, we got my girl Supergirl in there. Oh man, hey, we can get down with this for real, for real. Love Supergirl, love Supergirl. Now, the one person who I sort of kind of thought you were going to bring in, but you haven't done it yet. You may do it. The one person who I thought who you might have brought in was Magneto. I,
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I've not really watched anything to do with the X Men, and
mhm,
there's a reason for that. So
mhm,
I grew up in a very religious family,
mhm,
and they didn't let me watch a lot of things growing up, and one of
mm.
those things happened to be X Men because of I'm not sure his name, but the little blue demon looking guy.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, they saw him and they were like, "No, you can't
I
watch it."
feel you.
And as I got older, I kind of grew out of that. They were kind of more lenient on what I could watch and whatnot, and I just never really went back and watched it just because where I was kind of deprived of it as a child.
Mm.
I never really went back and watched it, but I'm thinking about going and watching it now. Uh, so who knows? They could make their way into it, and I could find a new love for X Men.
Oh, you need to go check. If you're going to use anything for reference, you can start with the X-Men 97. The artwork wasn't that great, but the storyline in that show, I think it was great. The thing is fantastic.
Man, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff about X Men '97. A lot of people are talking about it. I've seen a lot of cosplayers dressing up as the characters and whatnot. One of them, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce her last name, but her name is Stefania. I've
Hmm.
seen a lot of her stuff of her dressed as like Rogue and stuff like that. I've seen
Hmm.
a lot of people dressed as Rogue, and a lot of people dressed as Gambit, obviously
Yep.
Wolverine, people like that.
Yep.
And with the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie coming out, I'm definitely thinking about diving into X Men.
That would be awesome. Who would you put him up against in DC?
So I actually had thought about bringing in Deadpool, but it was just one
Ooh.
of those things where like I wasn't really sure who I would put him up against. Honestly, I'm thinking if I were to bring in Deadpool, uh, I would probably try to bring in Deathstroke just because
Yep.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Deadpool is actually he started out as a parody of Deathstroke,
Hmm.
and then he kind of became his own thing. So
Oh
I
yeah.
definitely think that would be an interesting thing to see.
And you can also bring in his relation. You can also bring into the fact that he breaks the fourth wall a lot. So that would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool to see.
For that
Um.
aspect, I think he would be good against Joker.
Oh, man, people sleep on Joker a lot. I think, but because if they fought, people would automatically probably think Deadpool's gonna win. Deadpool's gonna win, but people sleep on Joker. That's another character that gets slept on in battle.
Yeah, for sure. Because the thing about Joker, and Batman has said this himself, is that the reason why he's such a big threat is just because he's like so unpredictable,
Yep,
and the stuff that he does is just like no one would ever even think about it. And I think it was even said that he himself doesn't even think about it whenever he's doing this stuff. He just kind of does it.
this goes with it. Yeah, yeah. Now you brought in another one of my favorite characters. And I kind of thought another one you brought in too was kind of interesting from the Marvel side. You brought in Black Widow.
Yeah.
Love Black Widow. What made you bring Peggy Carter into it?
Okay, so when I was really going through the characters of like who I could have go against who, because I knew that I definitely wanted to bring back all the reoccurring characters from Hanging with the Justice League. But as far as Marvel, I wanted to basically make it make sense as far as like, could they beat this person,
Right.
and what could be a good storyline to have them go head to head against. And I knew that I wanted to bring in Captain America and do like the whole like racist cap thing, because that's been a meme for like a it's been a meme for like a really long time. Like,
It has.
you know, like Cap being from the 30s, like he's gonna be racist.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, if I'm bringing in Cap and he's gonna be like saying all this off the wall, like unhinged stuff
Right.
to Green Lantern, I may as well bring in Captain Carter. And Hawk Girl's obviously gonna like defend Green Lantern because that's her man.
Yep.
So, you know, it only made sense. And I made her and Captain Marvel become kind of like what Hawk Girl and Wonder Woman had become in Hanging with the Justice League, just because, you know, I thought that made sense as well.
Now you brought in for I saw you brought in Nightwing for a minute.
Yeah.
And it's like in the comics now, he's kind of away, kind of stepped down. They got Bruce Wayne taking his place, which just looks completely ridiculous. Because Bruce Wayne doesn't look nothing like Dick Grayson, bigger, heavier, looks something like him. Um, the Could you see yourself maybe bringing the Titans back?
So honestly, this is the only reason why I haven't done a lot with the Titans. The biggest reason was that when I first started, I posted a Teen Titans video before I posted a Bat Family video,
Mm-hmm.
and both of those versions have Dick Grayson, and I didn't want to like confuse people
I got you.
by going back and forth. Like one
I
minute
got you.
he's like a teenager, and then 1 minute he's like a grown man who has been like back and forth with like Batgirl and Starfire. And you know, I basically just wanted to avoid confusion. But I'm kind of open to going back to posting more Titans stuff, just because a lot of people have asked for it.
The Bat Family was funny too, particularly with Red Hood talking trash. I thought that was just amazing. Red Hood talking trash, like, bruh, that was amazing. Now, anyone else who you would maybe like to bring from another world? Maybe we talked about Pokemon Digimon earlier. Anybody else you would like to bring in to do something similar to this? Maybe like, oh, I don't know. And it's Dragon Ball versus Naruto, something to that effect from the world of anime.
Well, I'm not gonna say much, but like I said, there's definitely something coming. I can't say anything hardly about it without like spoiling it, and I really
Right.
want to
Don't
say
want to do
something
that.
so
Don't want to do
bad,
that.
but I'm just gonna let y'all know, like, it's a lot bigger than anything that y'all could have imagined.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. All right. Well, quickly, tell everybody where they can find you on social media. Where can people keep up with you besides TikTok?
So besides TikTok, and I actually did want to bring this up because with the possibility of the TikTok ban coming in 2025, I
Yeah.
definitely want you guys to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, official Red Fox Playa, because I would say that after this storyline, after this meta brawl is over, I'm going to start posting on there a lot more. And you can also find me on Instagram under the same name, Red Fox Playa.
I'm glad I asked that question. I didn't know you were on Instagram. Perfect. I didn't know that. I follow you on YouTube, but I didn't know you were on Instagram. So I'm glad I asked that question. Now tonight is the second half and the last night on the meta brawl. Night one is up. Where can they catch night one? Same places?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Where can people catch night one? For people like me who had to work late and miss night one, where can people catch night one?
So night one is actually on my YouTube right now under official Red Fox Playa.
Okay.
So basically, the way I do it is every meta brawl, I'll stream it live on TikTok at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then after that, it will premiere live on YouTube at midnight the following night, and basically after the premiere, it will remain on YouTube, and they can go back and watch that whenever they want.
Cool. Real quick, catch me up. What, if any comic book series that you're reading, any video games that you're playing?
Oh man, there's a lot, honestly. So ever since I started doing the Marvel versus DC stuff, I've always been into Miles Morales, but I've kind of like dug a lot deeper into his story and a lot of his comics and stuff ever since then. So there's definitely a lot of Miles Morales stuff that I'm reading. There's a lot of Supergirl stuff that I'm reading as well.
Yes.
Um, see, I thought I had it on me, but I guess I don't. But there's that. I had a lot of the static reboot comics, but I lost them because a couple years ago I lost a lot of stuff in a flood that happened. But yeah, there's him, a lot of Green Lantern as well.
Man, I lost one of my comic book series. I just found my first issue. I moved and I had the whole series of Justice League versus the Avengers. And it's like I found the first issue around the house. I'm still looking for the rest of that series. That was the series that had the iconic cover of Superman holding Cap's shield and Thor's hammer.
Oh man, you lost.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't. I gotta try to find those. I gotta try to find them, man. I might have to just break down. I saw them on eBay for like $80, so I might just have to break the bank and go on and get it. All right, my friend. Any video games you're playing?
Not currently, but I'm a big fan of the Arkham series.
Yep.
I used to have a PlayStation, but again, I lost that in the flood.
Dang, man.
When I had that PlayStation, I was always playing the Spider-Man games, both the first one and Miles Morales. By the time the second Spider-Man came out, I had already lost my PlayStation. I'm also a big fan of Gotham Knights as well.
Okay. And last question: any anime or any cartoons you're particularly watching right now?
Oh yeah, dude. So I'm currently watching One Piece. I watch it in dub, and I'm trying to wait until they, release more dub to basically watch where everyone's at right now, which is Egghead. But where I'm at right now, I just finished Wano, so I'm excited to get into Egghead once they release more dub. I'm watching My Hero Academia too. Just finished it as well, and I finished Naruto like a while ago. That's really about it as far as the anime side. I've watched some Dragon Ball, but I've not got caught up anywhere near to where they're at right now.
I got you. All right, my friend. And any shout outs you want to give? Anything else you want to finish up with today?
Yeah, man. I just wanted to shout out everyone who keeps up with the videos, watches them daily. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys are really what I do this for. I don't really make any money off this necessarily. If I do make any money, it's basically just enough to keep putting out these videos. And, I want you guys to know that I really appreciate each and every one of you guys who tune into the videos every day, comment, make me laugh. I can make you guys laugh. Tune into the Meta Brawl. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I also wanted to shout out Adam for helping me to make this all possible. And I just want you guys to know I love each and every one of you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys for night 2 of the Meta Brawl.
Man, it's good to have you on. Finally glad I got to meet you in person. Keep up the good work. You're doing your thing, man. Keep it up. Don't let anybody discourage you. Keep it going. If there's anything I can do to assist, let me know. Everybody go out and support my boy. I know that 11 Labs account ain't cheap. So everybody keep coming out, support my boy, making sure he gets what he needs so he can keep this series going. Thank you for coming on, man. We do appreciate you.
Thanks so much. Good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you.